Now, kids, it's time for the ANAGLYPH Jukebox.
Anita O'Day began as a girl singer with the band in the big band era of the 1940s. She presented herself as a hip jazz musician, wearing a band jacket and a skirt as opposed to an evening gown. In March 1947, during a party at which Dizzy Gillespie was playing from the branches of a tree in the front yard, two undercover policemen came to her home. Officers found a small bag of marijuana, for which Anita was arrested. She switched from marijuana to alcohol after her second pot bust, and her first thought on feeling the effects of heroin was, oh good, now I don't have to drink. Within a month, she was framed on a heroin charge and was facing 6 years in prison. O'Day spoke candidly about her drug addiction in her 1981 memoir, High Times, Hard Times. Take it away.
Well, the moon looked lonesome shining through the trees. Well, the moon looked lonesome shining through the trees. Well, don't your arms look lonesome when your baby backs up to leave? Said I'm going up on the mountain to call that baby mine. Said I'm going up on the mountain to call that baby mine. The devil's for me, he's not coming back this time. We'll have to go to the country, baby, can't take you. We all going up to the country, can't take you. There's nothing up there a man like you could do. He's got a face like a fish, shaped like a frog. When he loves me, I holler, ooh, a hot dog. Love that man better than I do myself. He left me all alone on the shelf.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe, for bringing that lady into all of our lives. I must admit, I generally know these people, especially when they're musicians, but I was not familiar with her, and I got to tell you, thank you. She had chops, and not like a chick who could party. You know what I mean?
She had chops. She could party. There's a wonderful. You can find this on many streaming services. Jazz on a Summer Afternoon. It was a documentary film. A number of artists are featured, but it's generally agreed that Anita O'Day steals the film. She's got like a 2 or 3 song segment. Personal note: she later did get cleaned up and had a long life post addiction. But you may have noticed. Not long sleeves, but always white gloves to cover the track marks on her hands and wrists.
What is the name of that movie again? Or the documentary?
A documentary called Jazz on a Summer Afternoon.
I don't have to write that one down. Jazz on a Summer Afternoon.
Like the Newport Jazz Festival from like 1963 or 1964. Highlights of that weekend's performances. A number of great artists are featured. But everybody remembers. Oh yeah, did you see Anita O'Day in that? She was great. She was a club singer. She was a, and I guess her career faded out as the club scene faded out.
Well, thank you
But
for bringing her back into all our consciousness. And not only that, in 3D, you know, I feel like I met Anita. God bless her, man. She had chops, and man, I could just from what that one song you played, that's all about chops. She could
yeah, and
deliver.
that was just 2 minutes. You should hear her really cut loose.
I'm in. She won. I'm in. Thank you for once again taking us places where we haven't been. Thank you, Jonas. It's so significant and in 3D on top of it, man. That is just delightful. Thank you very much. That whole series is just wonderful. New York will love it. Here, I'm sure people are going to be waiting up and say, "Get this guy off and put on the ANAGLYPH." right now. There's people right now thinking that. I will read their minds celestially. Today's guest. Thanks again, Joe. Today's guest is Silverman, aka Harold BAIZE, who is an excellent stereographer, and it's our good fortune that we'll be able to visit Burning Man without all the burns, and without all the sand and the technicalities. And what better way than through Harold's eyes? Because he's a very gifted photographer. So cinema, whether it's a 2D or 3D, but thank goodness he shoots 3D, because these are phenomenal images. That sometimes I look at a picture, I could have done that, but not with his. I got to admit it. Some people just have that skill, and if Silverman wasn't silver right now, he's rusting. He's actually turning. So anyway, we're for those unfamiliar with Burning Man, by the way, that takes place in Nevada's Black Rock Desert and consists of massive art installations, which you're about to see. So let's get started. Welcome, Silverman. Hey, Harold. Oh,
Hey,
Silverman. I'm sorry for breaking the story there.
all right. Well, first I want to mention that it's 30 years ago was my first burn, 1996. So that's been quite a trip. This photo is was taken on Tuesday of the week. I should explain the week because a lot of people might not know. Burning Man is a week long, and it's the week before Labor Day. And so it officially starts on Monday, the week before Labor Day, and ends the Sunday night before Labor Day. So this was taken on Tuesday during the week, and we had some bad weather. Not as much rain as we had in 2023, but the Saturday before the event officially opened, we had extreme wind, and there was so much wind, there were gusts over 50 miles an hour, and some of the art got destroyed by that wind. And then we had rain on Sunday and Monday, and again Tuesday. If you look closely in this picture, you can actually see the raindrops creating ripples in the puddles.
Yeah, you absolutely can. Thank you for directing us into that. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, this is from inside your car?
Yeah, this is me taking shelter in my car because there's not much you can do when it's muddy and raining.
Yeah, because that's not like mud that people are used to. That's like really.
Yeah, you are advised to just stay in place because
yeah.
everything gets messed up.
That's just more like muck, right?
Yep. All right. Now, Wednesday, after the rain finally stopped, we had a spectacular sunset. And unfortunately, when the sunset was happening, I was in camp. So, I was rather frustrated. I thought, oh, this could be an incredible photograph if I was just out where the art is.
Beautiful. Is that your car to the right?
No, that's somebody else's car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful sunset. I'm drawn to the car. Yeah, no, that's
exactly.
So I can see. It's even beautiful now, Harold. It's beautiful.
But I wanted to get it was of course it was much more spectacular in real life. But I had to get to some artwork, so I just ran as fast as I could to this next image. And unfortunately, when I got there, the sunset had faded, and there were people all over the art. So, the grand photograph that I had in my mind, never came to be. That's part of the frustration. But this art piece was one of my favorites, maybe my most favorite from 2025. It's called Rose Wonders, and it's by Thomas Dambo of Denmark. It's a giant troll, and it's what her name is Rose, and she's wondering about the humans in her hand. And it was made in Denmark from recycled wood, taken apart in 46 pieces, and then reassembled in Black Rock Desert.
Holy Chenga. Wow. Wow. You know, I'm going to go back one. This, I just want to get scale. Wow. Oh, you can
Yeah.
climb into it?
Yeah, if you look down there by the foot, there's a little like triangle there. That's the doorway. You can go up inside and then get up into her hands.
Amazing.
Now, there were maybe a dozen art pieces destroyed by the wind, and this is one of them. It was called Mona Die Die Die. It was meant to be a giant die, and the pips of the die had lights in them, and it was meant to be interactive, but nobody got to interact with it because it was destroyed by the wind.
I mean, literally destroyed. Nobody would have the time. Give me 1 second. I want to be sure I'm doing full frame on this. Be sure that's correct. Give me one moment. I want to be sure we got all the beauty of these things. I don't want to. It's a window, right? It's our normal set. I don't know if that's yeah. Got that? Is that better? It might be better. Hold on a second.
You look in there, you can see it says
I didn't
Mona.
crop anything. Good, 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 good. So I just want to be sure I had as much as I can get into those pictures. But oh, you know, that's no good because you can't see it's been cropped. Give me one moment. Sorry about that, man. I just want to be sure we got this right. There we go. Sorry about that. I'll continue in one moment.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny. It was called Mona Die Die Die, and it says rest in peace there on the piece.
Yes, I know that, and apparently it did. but,
It did, yes.
Yeah, but I guess nobody wants to go through the woes of uh rebuilding that, right? Because that would be just obviously it was if it was possible, I would have done it. I guess I'll answer my own
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, they don't have the resources. Of course, it was always intended to be burned, so they did burn it right on schedule. I think it was Friday of the week, and they expected though not to just be burning a pile of wood.
Just give me one more second. I'm very sorry about this, but I'm seeing something in the right hand corner I don't like. I don't know why that would be doing that, but stand by one moment, please. Just one moment. Just want to see why it's doing something that I'm not happy with. I don't want anything to get in the way of those great shots. Sorry. Stand by. Good. I erased. Got perfect.
Okay.
And what was that burning? I'm sorry, because I was diddling with stuff
Oh,
over here.
well, that's the pile of wood that was meant to be Mona Die Die Die.
Oh, Mona up and smoke, smoke, smoke. I
Yeah.
can imagine how many judges. Too easy. But I'm sorry that happened to them anyway. I know how much effort that takes to get that together. That ain't simple. So
All right. This piece is called Reflecting the Present by Daryl Anstead of Boulder, Colorado. And it's been out to the playa a number of years. And you can see it's something that's meant to be photographed in 3D, but I still haven't perfected a shot of it yet.
thank you for keeping on trying. This one made it through the windstorm.
Yeah.
This guy had the natural and good thinking on his part.
This is one of many inflated artworks This one survived the wind. A few of the inflated artworks did not handle the wind well. There was one, there was a giant black cloud, and it was completely destroyed. So nobody, I think, ever saw it. This one, I don't know the name, but you can see the advantage of this inflatable art. I mean, obviously, it's easier to, to truck it out there and inflate it rather than make it out of steel and somehow get it out there.
Yes, and how what are you shooting with? How are you getting it? Well, the whole background it looks it's perfect. I mean, what's going on here?
Oh, I was probably using the Sony RX0 rig.
A tripod?
No tripod. No, I think well, I usually use a monopod,
Uh,
and that helps to steady things.
because even the bikes, just there's a little, you can see a little motion blur from that, but the bike, it's really incredible. What do you just scream? Everybody stay still.
I wish I could. Yeah.
That's you got a bullhorn, man.
Yeah. This one is called Our Aro. I knew I was going to say this wrong. Aro, Arobaros. Arobaros.
You don't have to
And
apologize to me. That's all I have. I screw everything up. What is it
well,
called
it's
again? What is it called again?
Arobaros.
Oh, that's an easy for you to say.
Yeah. Oh, I just noticed after just the other day that this photo, you'll notice some retinal rivalry. I realized I actually combined the right and left of two different shots by
Ah,
mistake.
and what? I mean, this is a cha-cha. Is this? No, how, you must be
No,
separating those because this obviously everything in the distance looks. Do you have those cameras? How far do you have those cameras apart on the rig?
oh, probably about 6 inches,
Okay,
maybe
okay,
a little less than that.
because you can see in the distance, like that auto effect.
Well, again, though, that was accidentally combined two different shots.
I know you got that. Gotcha. There's that.
Uh, Now, I had to include this for obvious reasons, but I don't have any information about this. There was nothing to view that was anaglyphic. There was just this giant pair of anaglyph glasses sitting in the desert with no explanation. And that smaller pair of glasses to the right was actually a little box, but there was nothing in it when I happened by. And another interesting thing about this is that I did essentially the same thing in 1997. I made a giant pair of anaglyph glasses and brought them out to Burning Man.
Little did he know he'd be busted by Silverman. um, but they must light it up at night. That's what those little things are on the lower left-hand side.
Well, yeah, everything needs to be lit up at night. Otherwise, people will, slam their bikes into it at 30 miles an hour. But,
That's a very good reason to light it up. Yeah.
yeah. This art piece was called The Point of Unity, and it's from people from Ukraine. And when I happened to buy this piece, I was in full Silverman, and the makers of the piece insisted that I pose for photographs for them, but I never saw those photographs.
What was it Mylar on top?
No, it was metal.
Oh, man.
I
Okay, it is
suppose it
metal.
was polished stainless steel, maybe.
And I'm trying
Or
to
is- yeah, and it's fairly large. It's more than 12 feet high.
I'm just trying to figure out what that top is. So the top is reflective, right? As well as the silver thing in the middle, right?
Right.
The,
Yeah, it was essentially a disc with on two semicircular pillars. This piece is called Echo of Emergence by Denver Miller III of Reno. And this piece was in this structure at Burning Man called the Artery. The Artery is sort of the people that coordinate the art installations at Burning Man. And this one was right in that building that they use for the purpose of coordinating the art. This one I was not an official art piece. There was no information on it, but a little bit of background history. When the pandemic hit, Burning Man was shut down and hit real financial difficulties. Elon Musk made a substantial donation to the Burning Man organization to keep them afloat. And then in 2021, his brother, Kimball Musk, was placed on the board of directors of Burning Man. Subsequently, Kimball's name appears many times in the Epstein files. And because of sort of growing concern about that, he recently resigned from the board. And I don't know if that has anything to do with this art piece, but that gives you some more context.
And it's interesting because it reads either way you read it, it has some meaning. But now those guys are those not real. That's mannequins or something.
No, those are people. Yeah.
Those are people.
Only that, but I have a couple of shots with that guy doing the handstand.
In
other words, there's a different shot on the website of him doing that handstand.
Now nobody's policing people because that looks a little that's dangerous, man. Come on.
Well, like it says on the back of your ticket from the very beginning, yeah, you know.
The old asterisk. Yes.
You accept risk of death or bodily harm.
Yeah.
This piece is called Helios Bloom by Exowatt from Miami, Florida. And those are little mirrors that focus light on something and it generates power, but I didn't really inspect it to figure out how it works. But what I like about this is I captured this photographer. As you can see, he's seriously studying the angles to get the best shot.
A lot of photographers?
Yeah, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, and a few of them have stereo cameras.
I'd be curious what you didn't give them your information or anything, no. Hey, do you mind if I call you should I call you Mr. Man or Silver?
Whatever.
Whatever. That's the right answer. Right answer.
Yeah, this piece is called Teddy. It's by Seth Johnson of Carson City, Nevada. And what I like about this is I felt like those clouds kind of balanced the composition.
Yes. Thank you for describing it. But it's wonderful when things like that affect you without having you explain it or the artist explain it. But yes, that worked right away without your explanation. That's fascinating. What is it made out of? Do you know this thing?
Oh, no, it was hard. I think maybe fiberglass.
Oh, okay. Just curious. Wow.
Yeah, this is another Ouroboros, but I could pronounce it this time. And it was by Steel Tiger Lilies and Bathsheba Grossman from Milwaukee and from Boston. This one you can see it's made out of sort of acrylic panels that are reflective, and then the reflective material has been etched off, and then it's illuminated from the inside.
And those are like the symbols on the top. They're like symbols all over it. Yeah, obviously there is.
Yeah, it's been etched all over.
Etched. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, you scrape off the reflective mirror and then it shines through.
Do you recall how big this thing was?
Oh yeah, this is if you were standing, your head would be about where the elephant is. All right. This piece was called Sphere Vision by Andre P. from Los Angeles. And it was actually a pair of inflated superheroes. And to give you a sense of the height,
I'm sorry.
if you were standing, you would not quite touch his hand if you were standing under it.
Got it. This is lit from inside at night, or no?
I never saw it at night. That's one of the unfortunate things about Burning Man. There is so much. You will see an art piece once, and maybe not in its final state. You might not see it at night. So yeah, this is another shot of that piece, and this shows you that there were two of them, a man and a woman superhero, and it's called Sphere Vision because inside that box was a sphere, but I never saw it. This picture was taken late in the week. I think the extreme wind is part of the reason why I never saw what was in that box, the sphere in the box, because I think the wind damaged them. They had to fix them, and I never came by when the sphere was visible.
Oh man, it'd be a trip if this thing let go. Could you imagine this thing working its way across the playa?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would not want
God.
to have this inflated with 50-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh no, 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 no.
This piece is called Bats in the Belfry, by artists from Balai, Indonesia and Reno, Nevada.
And just roughly, this probably stood about 10 feet tall or something, or at the top, you're thinking?
Yeah, again, yeah, you couldn't reach that umbrella. No, maybe,
Got it.
you could reach up to just above the eyes, maybe. Yeah, this piece was called Guma by Harper Clark of Petaluma, California. And I met him a few years ago because he camped next to us and he had this wonderful mutant vehicle in the shape of a rhinoceros that we got to ride around in. That was a lot of fun. So he's a very creative guy. This piece was sort of a giant cartoon dinosaur thing that you could walk over, walk under, or crawl through. And this is from the inside of that dinosaur.
So how you could crawl through this? Is this a crawl section or a walk section?
Well, you could walk in the middle of it, but as you got into the neck or the tail,
You
it
got it,
got,
got
yeah.
got it. I had to get the vision. Thank you.
Now this is, I can't decide if this or Rose Wonders is my favorite piece for the year, but this is called Kayurami Kayurami Ceremonial Center by Lila Brashka of Mexico, and it was very beautiful at night.
Silverman, do does the artist hang about these pieces, or uh,
No, it's pretty hard to do that. So I'd never, sometimes I happen to meet the artist, but usually not. No.
they must have a opening party or a closing party where these people are around? No.
Oh, yeah, at that artery that I mentioned, there are
Ah,
specific events where you can come there and meet the artist and do a tour. But I'm usually too busy. I can't do that. I'm too,
hmm.
do, I don't get to do that.
And I'm very glad you're too busy. Let's put it that way,
Yeah.
because these are great shots. And this,
This is the same piece, but it's a sort of a close up, a detail where you can see the stained glass and the mosaic work. And if you notice closely there at the bottom, you're actually looking inside, looking through it.
notice that. Imagine that. That's what 3D is about, right? You'd have never seen there's a hole in it like that. That would not work. But in 3D, it's perfect. There's a lot of those, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because interesting, interesting. Wow.
This piece is called Eye to the Sky by Michael White of Brooklyn, New York. And I really like to get these shots of art pieces right through the sunrise like that. And of course, unfortunately, as with more than 70,000 people there, I just want to scream, get away from the art so I can, but there's going to be people. You can't avoid it.
What you need is like a laser pointer or something, man. Move, because coming from Silverman, it'd be one thing if I said it,
Yeah.
but if you had a bullhorn and a laser, I'm sure they would clear the deck. That's just my thinking.
All right. Now, this picture was taken on the Monday after the event is officially over. That Monday is Labor Day. So this picture was taken on Labor Day, and they're dismantling this huge electronic dance music pyramid. It's a giant pyramid that they build for 1 week and then take it down. And this woman is helping to take it down, and she was nice enough to pause from her work to pose for me. And the name of the camp is Play Alchemists, although you might pronounce it Playa Alchemists, but either way. I don't know the name of this piece of art, It was under the man in the pavilion under the man. And I actually have two different photos of this on the website, and now I'm realizing this is the better photo uh, because it comes through the window.
Thank you. You're giving us the private stock. Thank you.
Right. Uh, this piece, I think we skipped one. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, this piece is called "I Wish You Could See" by Stick-Built Monofeds of Minnesota. Um, yeah, and what I liked about this is you could get a lot of different angles on it. And for this photo, I'm under the wing, shooting through it. I think it's nice that sometimes some of the art you can, get very, obtuse angles on them.
Yeah, and you did a very good job because the places you can see through the nose of the beast on the side, so a lot of times when you're shooting like that, and anything's obstructed in one eye and not in the other, and it kind of doesn't work. But it's in both. It's a great shot.
Hmm. Okay, there we go. Okay, now they're in sync. The stereo pix was out of sync. This piece is called Moth, and it's from people in Nogzinsk, Russia. And this is, yeah, it's a giant metal moth, and it was one of the better sculptures.
Imagine this coming through customs.
Oh yeah. This piece is called the Phoenix Gate, and it was an impressive piece, but it didn't live up. This is one of the pieces that I contributed a little bit of money to. A lot of these artworks run a GoFundMe, and now I every year I contribute not a lot of money, but a little bit of money to different art pieces. This is one that I contributed money to, and I was a little disappointed because the initial drawings of it suggested that the whole bodies were going to be that sculpted material that you see on the heads. And this piece was adversely impacted by the extreme wind. And so you can see that much of the sculpture is the scaffolding covered with fabric. And a lot of that fabric was missing until late in the week because the wind had blown it away.
You brought up an interesting point, other than the 100 other interesting points you brought up. How does one donate to a thing? How do you find out about that? What do you go to the website or something? The Burning
Oh,
Man
well,
website?
if you go to the Burning Man website, or if you're a Facebook, there's, they you can get the links lots of
Got it.
places.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right. I don't know the name of these steel aliens. I couldn't find a reference to the artist or the name of this work, but I think it's by the same artist that has done this series of large human figure uh, stainless steel sculptures. And as I mentioned before, this artist got somewhat controversial because the artist designs it, but it's actually fabricated for him by a company in China.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess that makes for a bit of a conversation. Um, I have to think about whether that makes a difference to me. Hmm,
Yeah. Now, if he uses AI to design it, that's even worse.
right. But Andy Warhol did that too. He had a bunch of people painting stuff, right? So I
Yeah,
guess it's just the way it is, right?
yeah. This is a different angle. Like it's nice to get an up angle on some of these tall statues.
Oh, I just want to go back once. Okay, because I didn't realize I really didn't take a close look at where the hand was. Now I see that the hands are approaching each other. Got it. Or pulling away. Who knows, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like I think the idea is they're about to touch, but yeah. This piece is called Haven. It's by the Flaming Lotus Girls, which is an art collective from the San Francisco Bay Area, mostly Oakland. And they've been bringing fire art to Burning Man for it, I think at least 20 years. This piece is called Ad Astra by Gabriel Sobin of France. And this is another one of those. It's like, oh, if those people just weren't there.
Yeah, but you know something? I know your point. You always look at a picture more closely and say, I wish, but I actually it adds something, at least to me. The eye of the beholder, you know how that goes.
Mhm.
But it adds another meaning to it. Just a great shot. You know, you have sunshine. That's the sun right back there behind the guy walking. That it's exposed so great is a tribute to you, first of all, and the second, I guess, to the sensors on that camera, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, the Sony RX Zeros. Yeah, and I make a point to get up before dawn 2 days a week to try to get these shots. This is the same artwork, the same piece again. Um, and you can tell that the concept here is that it's sort of a Stonehenge, but it's made out of metal and stone. Of course, it's fake stone. It's not real stone. I think it's made out of some sort of polymer and or fiberglass.
And they're all one-sided. I see the other ones to the right, the other ones to, are they
Yeah, they have
faced in a specific direction towards this, sunrise and any kind of fanciness?
I couldn't tell.
Okay, honest answer.
Yeah, this piece is called Mycelia by Daniel Popper of South Africa. And at dusk and at night, there were color projections on the statue.
Sure, there would be. That would to projection mapping. This would be like perfect. Wow.
Mm. Okay. This is called Arise. And the story behind this is it was one of my favorite pieces, and I only got to get over to see it a couple of times. And I went there one afternoon, and it was really important for me to get a shot of this. But when I came by, there was a man sitting on the head of the statue. And I was like, no, I don't want this with this random guy sitting on the woman's head. So I came back an hour later, he was still sitting there. So I gave up on it. I gave up on it. But then Monday, Labor Day, after the event is over, I hurried over there hoping to get a photo. And when I got there, they had just taken the head off the statue.
Oh,
And so I was like, oh man, to that woman, you see her working there on the left. I was bemoaning the fact that I didn't get the photo of the art piece. And she says, well, you could replace the head. Why don't you get up there? So, so I gave my camera to another person working on disassembling the art piece and got up there and posed for a photo.
I didn't even want to bring it up, but that's great. I figured, oh, you got competition. Oh, you improved it. That's so great. That's so great. You added to it. Let's not improve it. Okay, you gave it another dimension.
Mhm. This is a mutant vehicle, and it's a somewhat hyper photo. And I like it just because it kind of captures the atmosphere. This was the evening before the burn of the man, and there's a lot of activity. See all those bikes, people are gathering to for the burn.
Is that like a mist in the distance or dust or something?
That's dust, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah.
Thank you for saving for us from going into the wilds of the dust. Every one of us appreciates it because it's beautiful and it's so much fun.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite mutant vehicles, the Great Clock Ship Terry. And if you look, you will see up at the top in the back on the left is National Stereoscopic Association's Claire Dean. on the vehicle. And to her right, on the ship's wheel, is the maker of the mutant vehicle, Andy Tibbetts. This is a massive dragon-infested mutant vehicle on the night of after the burn, after the man has fallen. There's all of the mutant vehicles encircle around the man, and after the man falls, it's just a huge party. And this is one of the more impressive mutant vehicles. You can see it has lasers, it has two dragons, and those are speakers there in the front, and it's pumping out loud dance music.
Now, are you in character as Silverman
Oh
at this
yeah,
point?
oh yeah.
Yes. Wow. Great shot of fire. Wow.
Now this is the much loved and very popular El Pupo Magnifico, and it's always happy to shoot fire.
You got that one. Nice. That's beautiful. You've done some great flame shots, but this is it's just so great.
Here's another shot of El Pupo Magnifico. Um, and if you look on the lower left, you see a gentleman there with a hat on. Um, that is Dwayne Flatmo. He's the maker of the mutant vehicle, and he is operating sort of a set of switches that control the flames.
He's controlling the Pupio. What is it called again?
El Pupo Magnifico,
Ah, he's controlling the Magnifico. I'll call it that. That makes it.
the magnificent octopus.
Yeah, Magnifico was an octopus.
This art piece is called Aquatica by Anna Giblovsky of San Francisco. It's sort of a mutant kelp tree made of metal and LED lights and glass.
So what we can see in the distance, all that lighting, is
That's Black Rock City. That's camps in the distance. All right. This 2025's temple. Um, Again, for people who aren't familiar, ever since 2000, there's been a building built at Burning Man for people to leave mementos and remembrances of people they've lost or things that they need to have closure with, and then it's burned on Sunday night of the festival. And this year it was called Temple of the Deep, by Miguel Arez of Spain. But I wasn't too thrilled with this design.
and so this gets burned at the end.
It got burned on Sunday night, and then that's really officially when the Burning Man's over and people are supposed to go home and
Oh.
not be there on Labor Day.
Well, he can go coach home at this point. You know, he can fly coach home. We have to worry about the baggage, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what it looks like. Oh, interesting, right?
Yeah. Now you get a sense of the full structure, and for a number of years, I've tried to make a sort of a tradition of getting sunrise through the temple, a shot of sunrise through the temple, and I couldn't this year because this is essentially a closed box. Yeah.
So so people leaving these things that trouble them and everything else. What, they write them on paper and leave them somewhere in there, or how does that happen?
Yeah. Well, there are some very elaborate remembrance, memorials to people who have died. I left a memorial to my father there in 2015 and my sister in 2012. So,
That's very
and
touching.
it's very solemn.
Yeah, very touching, man.
This was probably the best part of the structure, the ceiling, the spiral ceiling in the middle.
Wow. That what is hanging there, Silverman? Right in the middle of the frame. There's a thing. Is that just a
So
ball?
that's just a light. Those are,
Got it.
yeah.
It looked like a noggin to me, but I got it.
And then it burns. That's sort of the last major event at Burning Man is the burn of the temple. And it's a very different occasion than the burn of the man. The burn of the man is just a crazy party. This is very solemn. And so I like to get these shots of the crowd, you know.
Yes, I agree. At the rock shows with the lasers, I tend to like that now. I like to be behind the crowd and get that. There's something about that. It's something moving about that.
Now, I like the man pavilion. You know, the pavilion is sort of the structure that the man is standing on. Way back when I started going to Burning Man, 1996, 97, 98, in those years, the man was on stacks of straw, which was kind of weird. Uh, the straw burned and left burn marks on the playa. So they learned from that. But beginning in, I think, 2000, they started putting him on a wooden structure, which burned with him. And this year, the structure was better than the previous year because you could actually get close enough to take photos of the man, both day and night. This is a day shot. Oh, and in the previous shot, you might not have noticed the night shot. Uh, the only half of his neon is lit up. That's because the man was damaged by the wind. The neon was damaged, and they didn't get that fixed until late in the week. Yeah, I ran into all kinds of challenges trying to get these hyper shots of the burn of the man and trying to capture the fireworks and the fireballs and the full the full experience. And I won't go over all of the difficulties I had, but I will mention that this year, or not this year, 2025, one difference was I finally came up with the idea of putting my 8 foot hyper bar on a light stand because that's something that is light enough for me to bring out and place in the crowd, but I'm able to get my cameras up 9 feet, which is enough to get it above the hundred thousands of people surrounding me. I'm not sure which. I have two almost identical shots. See this this shot is like, taken just a few seconds later. I really couldn't decide which of those two.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't see it change.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it had changed. It's like they're almost identical shots, but I like about this, of course, is with the hyper, you get the Lilliputian effect of those little tiny people standing around there. And those little people are inside the safety circle. There's multiple levels to the safety circle, and you need a special laminate to get inside the safety perimeter. This is the best shot I got of the fireball this year, or rather 2025. I keep saying this year, but to me it's this year until the next burn. Yeah, so I think again here in 2026, I'll bring the, uh, the light stand and use that method to get my cameras high enough. But I really need to bring out sort of a group of people to sit around it, because you can imagine you're out there in this partying crowd of thousands of people, and you have this camera rig up on a light stand 9 feet up and 8 feet wide, and people just keep encroaching on you and bumping. And yeah.
While we're waiting for Johnny to get back on, just phenomenal, amazing captures. Plus, your deep personal history with this event. I think there was a comment that it's a spiritual feeling. It's more than just a festival, more than just public art. There's a lot of depth there, Harold, and you capture both elements of that: spatial depth and I think spiritual depth.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is a moving event, and everybody says people claim, life-changing, but
One moment. I should have this solved in a second, I think.
Yeah,
The mic is working nicely.
Yeah, it's
Well,
working,
Harold,
but it's a bad
you and I
sound.
know
Yeah.
the only things that really ever change people's lives are chocolate and peanut butter. But I don't want to get political.
One more time.
or big fires in the desert.
But yeah, he's
There's
And-
actually
and this-
quite
and this- and-
questions in the chat that we can maybe go through.
Ron Labby had a question about where does the electricity? Excuse me. Where does the electricity come from?
Well, a lot of it comes from solar, but unfortunately, also generators. Like a lot of those art pieces out there will have its own little gas-powered generator that they keep running the whole time. Others are completely powered by solar, and this is true of camps as well. It's like, for example, my camp we would never have a generator. That's very gauche because generators cause noise and pollution, and we wouldn't do that. There are other camps where they just have huge generators and they don't care if it makes noise and, gas fumes for your camp.
John Chu in the chat is asking about showers, porta johns. What are restroom facilities like?
Oh, boy, the porta potties are notorious for being absolutely horrible, as you can expect.
Okay.
And showers, that's an interesting thing. There's a whole history about showers out there. People bring their own facilities, whatever they're going to use. And for a long time, there was these things called evaporation ponds. People would bring water, set up a shower, take a shower, and then the water would drain into a pond where it would evaporate. And that seemed like a good idea for a long time, but it really isn't, because what happens is they often leak, which is a big problem because you're not supposed to leave a trace, including dirty water. That's definitely leaving a trace. And if it does leak, it creates a mud pile, which is a problem. So, yeah, if you do shower, you really need to bring all that water back home with you, which is what I do. I'm silver, and of course, when I shower, you don't want that to go onto the playa. So I take it all in a bucket and take it home and dispose of it.
Test 1, 2. Give me one moment while I.
Yeah, it's better now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you clear now.
Oh, look, we got an echo there. Oh, good. Maybe someone on the playa shut me up. I don't blame him either. There's a couple of off-color jokes. I decided to shut this guy down. That was fantastic. I had a couple of other questions. Okay, you answered how long do you stay after this is all coming down? Do you watch it go down or you hit the road?
There's a tradition of that. I mean, like I say, it starts the Monday of the week before Labor Day, and you're supposed to be out of there on Labor Day. So, it's over that Sunday night before Labor Day. But people do stay. I have been staying the Monday after. In fact, some of my best photos are on Labor Day when it's supposed to, officially over, which is why that sculpture that I wanted wanted in its original form, instead I had to replace the head myself, because that was Monday after it's over.
An improvised improvement but no, it really, I'm not going to say that. Obviously, an artist did a great amount of effort to get that to work, but it certainly didn't hurt it. That's what I'm trying to get at. It was pretty cool.
But if you're still there on Tuesday, they tell you to get the hell out. So
Yeah, right. It's not like the Burning Man police to bust you. Imagine if you're there on Wednesday, they dig a hole and put you in.
oh yeah.
Yeah, right. That's really, really fascinating. What are your plans this year?
Basically the same as last year. I hope to get out more, get on some more mutant vehicles, and
And you're bringing along.
An important thing about Burning Man is you're supposed to give something back to the event, right? Create some art, and camps get placement. Get preferential placement within the city, and like I'm able to get there and get into the event a day or two earlier because I'm in a camp that provides something to the community. And what we do, our name is Metamorphosis, which fits for a Silverman. But what we do in our camp is we bring these copper pendants and we teach people how to score them and decorate them, teach them a little bit of metalworking, in effect. So they create their own pendant. And that's our gift to the community. That takes a lot of my time, right? Because that takes a few hours every day during the week. So that's a little less time that I have to get out and take photos.
This is not included in the gift to the community, what you're doing here.
Well,
Maybe they don't understand that.
I always thought it was, but
Damn it.
but there's a lot of hostility towards photographers, right? Like when I go into the temple, which is sort of this sacred space of letting go of and tribute. There are sort of people there that are there to protect the temple that will always come over to me and say, "Please don't take photographs of of people's personal memorials and that sort of thing." And I said, "Yeah, okay, And I always feel like because I obviously have camera equipment, serious camera equipment, they have to come over and talk to me, or there's people, with their cell phones taking photos all over the place."
I know, as I'm saying, you're coming in as Silverman. Why would you break Silverman's chops? I just don't get it. But that's okay because I don't get a lot of stuff in this world. But it is it seems rather irrational. But no, yeah, and I understand protecting what? Protecting what people want to get rid of. Anyway.
Well, no, I mean there are some very
no, I get it. Okay. I'm being my normal silly self, but I in a way I kind of get that. But I'm glad you break the rules to get the shots. Let me put it that way. I'm glad you are the Silverman mischief maker. This is good. This is good for all of us. What would you do different this year?
Just get out there and get more photos. Do more
in terms
things.
of equipment. Have you found
Oh, you mean as far as a photo equipment?
Yeah, as far as that.
Well, I bought a pair of Sony RX1R1-2.
I know, it's great. Isn't that pretty funny?
Yeah, their names for these Sony cameras are just ridiculous, but
many of them, like this litany of what does it mean?
And I haven't used them yet. I've got to get some practice with using these cameras, so I'm using these for the first time out there this year.
And you can change lenses on that, right? Or no?
No, not these. No,
not those. Gotcha.
It's full frame, but fixed lens.
Full frame or fixed lens.
And so those will probably be the cameras that'll be at the ends of my 8-foot hyperbar for the burn. And I hope to get some practice shooting things like that, fire or fireworks, before I get out there. So often it's like I have different camera equipment, and I've like, geez, I've never used this before, you know.
Well, that's a very good point you bring up, and that's the last question before we go to the after party. What do you practice with? How can you practice that experience?
Fireworks is a good thing to practice on, but I don't, there are not a lot of places where I can find big fireballs going off, you know.
You, you need to start that in your yard, you know. We'll get some black powder in here. Boom! Hey, that was a nice shot as the helicopters come in. Yeah, but that, yeah, I would assume that would be very difficult to, because once you're there, right?
Yeah, and if you don't have it with you, it's too late.
And so, do you expect those cameras to work after you return home?
Oh
The new
yeah,
ones?
like I used my Canon G1X cameras for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years before they died from the dust.
They bit the dust, literally. They bit the dust
Yeah.
at Burning Man. That should be a bunch of cameras they burned. But that is that. Thank you once again. All my silliness jokes, but we all appreciate you so much, and thank you, man.